Hi, I'm Debbie Rivera, and I'm manager of the NASA LEGO Partnerships, and I want to welcome you all to the Google Plus Hangout. We're here today to talk about our NASA LEGO competition. It's called NASA's Missions, Imagine and Build. This event is an opportunity to discuss the competition and to find out how you can enter a futuristic design of your own. The competition is currently open, and it will end on July 31st, and that means there's only 15 more days. So we're going to be taking some real-time questions using the hashtag AskLego on Twitter or from the NASA Google page during the event. We also have opened up a thread on NASA's Facebook page where you can post questions. So now I'd like to introduce the team. Leland?
Good morning. My name is Leland Melvin. I'm the Associate Administrator for Education, and I'm very excited to be here. And I'm a former astronaut, too, so let's build the future in a very grand way.
Hi, I'm April Lynott, and I'm an Einstein Educational Fellow working at NASA headquarters with the Aeronautics Research Mission Directorate. So I'll be answering your questions today that have to do with any of your aeronautics questions.
And how about our LEGO friends?
I'll go first. My name is Sarah Moore. I'm an online community specialist at the LEGO Group. I work on a platform called Rebrick.com where the contest is being hosted. It's a community site for teen and adult fans of LEGO bricks.
And Freddie?
Hi, my name is Frederike, which is very hard to pronounce, so feel free to call me Freddie. I work with Sarah at the LEGO Group. I'm a community editor and working at Rebrick.
Great, so that's our team, and we do have a lot of questions, so we're going to get going right away. Let me take the first question. I want to take part, but I don't really own any LEGO bricks. How can I participate? Freddie or Sarah, would you like to take that question?
Sure. It's fine if you don't own any LEGO bricks because our Inventing the Future Flight competition actually invites you to use LEGO Digital Designer, which is free software provided by the LEGO Group, which you can design the accompanying prototype to go with your research paper. And a link to this program is actually on the rules page on Rebrick.com, and I think you can get to it on Lego.com as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we're going to go to one of the questions that came to us from the Google Plus line, and it's from Crystal. The question is, would it only be design models, or should the spacecraft have the ability to launch? And I believe that is a great question, but we're really looking at the design models. Would anybody else like to care to answer that, April?
Sure, I'll take a stab at that. So all these design models are just prototypes, and so it's basically what it looks like. It doesn't have to fly or launch. So all you need to do is build your prototype, and it can sit on a LEGO base plate or not. I'll show you here. We have one of our NASA models, and this right here is just a prototype, so it doesn't fly, it doesn't function, but it has all the components on it that it would if it was a real working model. So no, it doesn't have to be a working model. Great question. Thanks.
Okay, Crystal, we want to see those designs, okay, by the 31st. 15 more days. If you've just joined us, we are talking about the NASA LEGO partnership called NASA's Missions, Imagine and Build. We're here to talk about the competition, and we have 15 days left in the competition to get your designs in. I have with me today Leland Melvin and April Lynott, and from the LEGO Group we have Freddie and Sarah. So thank you very much for people to bring in their questions. And here's another one. Can we use stickers on the model if they're official LEGO stickers? Sarah or Freddie, would you like to answer that question?
Yes, you can absolutely use stickers. The only exception is that's stickers that you use either the NASA or the LEGO logo. Unfortunately, we cannot use any models using these logos, as that would imply that we're endorsing that entry. But other stickers are absolutely all right.
Great. Thank you very much. We have another question. And this one, I think, Leland, you should be able to answer this one.
Try.
Okay. She says, I am 12 years old and I can't enter the competition because, you know, this competition
Right.
is for 13 years old plus. Will there be other NASA or LEGO contests coming up?
Well, there are some really cool contests going on right now. There's one called the Exploration Design Challenge. It's for kindergarten through 12th grade. If you go to nasa.gov/education, you can see this design challenge. It's where we have students building radiation shields to actually fly on the Orion vehicle. So it's really cool. Check it out. You'll learn about radiation, how you can protect yourselves, how astronauts can protect themselves going to Mars one day. And so it's a really cool competition. There are other things that are out there that you can do. Just go to nasa.gov/education. You'll see some of the cool things that we do at NASA for education.
Awesome. And thanks so much for that, Leland. Also, we do have a follow-up question for Leland. And that one is, will you be one of the competition judges?
Well, yes, I will. Myself and another NASA colleague and 2 designers will be judging all of the contestants. So get your design in. 15 days left, and we want to see some really cool, way out there, exotic, futuristic stuff, because these designs may one day be what our designers and engineers here use at NASA to build build the next vehicle that's going to Mars. So be very creative, be very open, and some of these futuristic airplanes that April's showing you right here, you know, those are the designs that we want to see your best work. So looking forward to that.
You know, speaking of April and the aeronautics missions, another question that we have had is this inventing the future of flight competition requires a technical paper. April, can you tell us what is involved in that technical paper?
Sure, I'd love to. So the technical paper, don't let yourselves be scared off by the term technical paper. So what we want to know is we want to know more about your designs. So you have all these great ideas and all these great designs, but you need to be able to show it off. And so what we need is we need a paper that goes along with it. And the paper explains what your prototype is, explains your design, and it also explains why it would fit well with what we're working on right now. So if you take your technical paper, if you just add your details of your design, and that'll be great. If you go to the Rebrick site, it'll tell you all the details for the paper. It takes you through it step by step, so you don't have to worry about starting from scratch. It'll tell you exactly what we want, but we basically want an explanation of your aircraft and why it's so great.
Awesome. So don't be afraid. But did I tell you you only have 15 more days? Okay. So moving on, we have a question from Twitter. Courtney has asked this particular question, and it's a really good one. It's talking about what exactly is the goal of the competition. And I'm going to answer the one like what the goal is for NASA and for LEGO. But then I think there's also another aspect of that question, and that is what is the goal of the competition for the folks that are actually entering their designs. So let's start with the first one. The first one is, what is NASA and LEGO? Why is NASA and LEGO doing this competition? We came into, many years ago, a really terrific partnership, NASA and LEGO, because we had mutual things that we wanted to do. And one of it was, how can we get information about our products and missions out in an innovative way that would capture the interests and engagement of the public? Well, one of the things that we're doing is this competition. Through you taking a look at what NASA is doing in their missions, and we have just a lot of missions to talk about, but with this focused competition, we can see what you guys can find out about NASA. You can go to nasa.gov, find out all about our missions, and that helps us get our story out to you. Okay? So that is one of the major goals for NASA, and I think LEGO also has some, so when they're able, they can give you their goals of the competition. So before we go to that second part of what are the goals, Courtney, I'd like to see if Freddie might be able to give us an answer of what the Lego goals are for the competition. Freddie?
Well, some of the goals for most of our Lego fans are also great fans of space and aeronautics and NASA. So that's, for Lego, it's a great opportunity, and for the fans, it's an amazing opportunity to combine those two interests. And I think that's what really is piquing an interest for Lego, the Lego group, but also for the Lego fans. And obviously, for the Lego fan, it's there's nothing cooler than to say that you've won something with NASA. So I think that in itself is a pretty awesome goal.
And I just think another really cool goal of this partnership is that we're getting people that maybe never have thought of themselves as being scientists and engineers, and they're building something, developing something, creating something that may one day end up as the model of the vehicle going to Mars. And so I think we're sharing with Lego fan base the principles of design and building of these futuristic vehicles and these futuristic satellites and robots, whatever we build. But we have a whole new group of people that are now learning more about NASA and how we can save our planet from an asteroid one day, or how we can save, get astronauts to Mars safely. So I think that's another big goal, is to let this whole base of people in the world, because everyone knows what Legos are, to know about what we're doing at NASA, and it can help everyone.
You're absolutely
From
right.
aviation to space to everything.
Exactly.
And I think it goes both ways, because for a lot of people who work with Lego on bricks on a general basis, they might not think that they are engineers and have the capability of building. And on the other hand, people who are used to engineering and building may not think of the Lego brick as a tool to build. So it's really a fun combination.
Awesome. We have another question from Google Plus, and that's, forgive me if I mispronounce your name, Rishov, and they would like to know, can an adult participate in this event with a teen? And April, would you like to take that question?
Absolutely. So the answer is yes. You can definitely join as a team, and we would love to see exactly that kind of team going. So we have two categories. If you're working on the inventing the future of flight, there's a young builders category that's for ages 13 through 18, and if you're that age, you're automatically entered into that category. However, you're not limited. You're also a part of the larger category. If you enter with an adult, all it does is doesn't qualify you for the young builders category because you have two people in the contest, but definitely enter, and that would be a great partnership. You would probably come up with some great ideas that one, if you entered by yourself, wouldn't come up with. So please do.
Great, great. Thanks so much. Okay, looking for the next question. While we're talking about things to think about for designing and entering into the competition, there is a question for April, and that is, I have a great idea for an unmanned aircraft design. Does the aircraft need to have a pilot?
That's another great question, and no, you don't have to have a pilot. Aircraft of the future are going to be flying in all kinds of ways, some that we know about and some that we don't even know about. Unmanned aircraft are really starting to become more and more prominent, and more designs are going on with that. So no, your airplane does not have to have a pilot. We want to see exactly what you can come up with. Like we said, it's the future of flight, so that can be pretty much anything you can imagine. So the sky's the limit.
Terrific.
It's
Great.
not the sky is the limit, right?
Sorry, yeah, I guess
When the
there is no
footprint on the
limit.
moon.
What is the limit, Leland?
I don't know the limit, but I know
Okay,
that
but it's
the
up
footprint's
there.
on the moon, right?
Exactly.
So,
It
past the
is
sky.
Moon and beyond. That's right. Okay, cool. All right, let's see. In case you have just joined us, we are here at a Google Plus Hangout. We're talking about the NASA LEGO partnership competition called NASA's Missions Imagine and Build. I'm Debbie Rivera, and I head up the NASA LEGO partnership. And with me today is Leland Melvin, as well as April Lynott. And we have two folks from LEGO, Freddie Hoff and Sarah Moore. So what we're doing is we are getting your questions off of Twitter with the hashtag of AskLego. And also we have the Google Plus, where you can post your questions and a thread off of NASA's Facebook page. So with that, we're going to start answering some more questions.
I have a quick question.
Hey, right here from the studio, we have Leland Melvin with a question.
How big a team can we have? Is it limited to
Great
a number?
question.
We have a limit of up to 5 people on a
5
team.
people per team? Okay.
Right. So if you have more than that, just feel free to split into separate teams and get busy with your designs.
Okay.
Remember, and exactly, and that's a great question, because then what I'd like to do, because some people may be new to the Google Plus Hangout, Freddie, maybe you want to, Freddie or Sarah, maybe you want to just restate that there's 2 parts of the competition and what those 2 competitions are.
So the overall competition has 2 parts. One is the Inventing Our Future of Flight competition. Now, this is sort of the academic part of it, which is where you write an academic paper, and at the same time you build a model to go with that paper. The other competition is our Imagine Our Future Beyond Earth competition,
We don't have Sarah.
which is more of a free build competition, which is where you build whatever your imagine holds from one of the future NASA missions until 2030, I think. So they're both very exciting and very different. And what you can do to read up on them is to go to rubric.com. There's a big banner right on the front page, and you click on that, and that will take you to the rules for both of the competitions.
Great, thanks a lot, Freddie. In fact, here's one from some of our friends in Huntsville, Alabama. This is coming in from Google Plus. As many of you know, we have a NASA Field Center down there. And Wesley says, I live in Huntsville where NASA is huge. How can I engage LEGO to do something like this for younger kids? So I think this is a very appropriate question for our friend Freddie.
I'm pretty sure that the LEGO group would be interested in doing something for younger kids as well. I think the best thing to do is to get a hold of both the LEGO group and NASA, write an email, come with a suggestion of what you think would be a cool idea. I certainly know that we've been really excited about this collaboration, so I don't see why there wouldn't be a possibility of another collaboration in the future.
And I think definitely if you're a younger kid and you're 13 or younger, well, 12 or younger, create something, build something, and then post your design out there for the world to see. And there may be other people besides LEGO or even NASA that may like your design and want to bring you on to start a new competition. So don't just limit yourself, use your own mind to be creative and build, develop, create, and someone may say that's one of the most innovative things that I've seen, and take that. So don't limit yourself. You can do anything you put your mind to.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, we have another question from our Google Plus group, and this is from Jorge, and this is to April. Our children are from Mexico. Can they participate in this competition?
Definitely. As long as you are 13 and over, then you're open to participate from anywhere around the world. Teammates can be right there with each other, or you can even collaborate across continents if you have other teammates in other countries that want to participate. So everybody is free to participate.
Now, with the design software, can you collaborate across, from different
You can.
computers?
Yeah,
Okay.
so you can. So when you use the Lego Digital Designer, if that's what you're using, you go in, you create your prototype, you design your build, and you save it just like a regular file. Everyone would have to have the
Nice.
same software on their computer, but you can send it to each other, work on it, send it back. It would be a great way to collaborate.
And that's how we collaborate here at NASA. We work with partners from all around the world to build the International Space Station. And sometimes these parts have never come together on the ground, but they come together in space. And so that's how we do designs. And with the first competition for aviation, you're writing this technical paper. This paper helps you with design. If you were working with someone else, how could this other person start to build your design? So that paper can help with
Exactly.
that.
And that's the whole point of the competition, is to make it as realistic as possible. NASA collaborates with each other. We have 10 different centers across the country. And then, like you said, we're cooperating internationally as well. And so we want this to be, based on real life scenarios. So when it comes to the aviation contest, we're designing it after a program that we call N+3. And what that is taking NASA's next generation, not just the next generation, but the generation after that and the third generation after that, and looking at what aircraft will look like 10, 20, 30 years in the future. And right now, university and commercial teams are working on these designs like you see right here. These are done by college students and commercial partners working together. Again, remotely. They don't always see each other. They're working on teams spread out all over the place. And so the idea and the reason we have the technical paper is so that it matches just what those people are doing. So we want to see what everybody else can build. Just because a university student's building it doesn't mean that you can't come up with a design that might be something completely unique and something that someone else may never have thought of before. So we want to see what you can do too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great.
I just want to interject here. This is Sarah again. Going back to the question about countries that can participate, it's fine. Mexico is fine for participation, but we do have a few areas that are, we just can't, due to the own country's rules, have participation. Places like Cuba, North Korea, those kinds of locations. It's all listed in our rules on rebrick.com. So if you're concerned about your country of origin, please check out rebrick.com.
Great point. Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah, thanks very much. As a matter of fact, while we are talking to our LEGO folks over there, whether it's in Connecticut or Denmark today, Sarah or Freddie, I would like to give you a question from Courtney over Twitter, and that is, how would you pick a winner?
Hi, I'll take that. The winners are picked by a panel of judges depending on the competition. For our Inventing the Future of Flight competition, Leland will be one of the judges there. I think he'll be a judge in both of the competitions, I believe, actually. So it's really making him happy that you have to cater to. But we also will have another engineer from NASA, I believe, and a LEGO specialist as well for that competition. And then in the other competition, the free build Imagine the Future Beyond Earth, that will have 2 LEGO designers as the judge along with Leland. So they will pick the best models.
And just to add to that, in the rules and what have you, Sarah, is there some more information about what folks are looking for?
Yes, absolutely. They will be judged on a couple of criteria, which can be found on the rules, or I'll just pull that up real quickly right now. So for the Imagine the Future Beyond Earth, the winning model will be judged based on overall coolness and creativity, inspired originality, and the Imagine Our Future Beyond Earth theme. And for the other set of rules, I have it all hard copied, so I have to rifle through it a little bit. The research paper academic one will be judged on quite an extensive list of criteria, which you can find on the rules page there, based on the physical model in the research paper as well. That's very helpful. Thanks, Sarah. And again, like she said, just go to
lego.com, and you can get all the information. So for those of you who have just joined us on our Google Plus Hangout, I'm Debbie Rivera. I'm head of NASA's and NASA LEGO partnerships. And we're here to discuss the latest competition, and that is called NASA's Missions Imagine and Build. The competition is open, but it does close on July 31st. So we're using the Google Plus to talk about the competition. And with me today is Leland Melvin, head of the education office here at NASA and former two-time shuttle astronaut. And then we have April Lynott. She's our Einstein Fellow that works in the Aeronautics Research Mission Directorate. Our LEGO folks, one of which is Sarah Moore in Connecticut, and the other one is Freddie Hoff, and she is coming to us from Denmark. So thanks everybody for joining us, and I think we're looking for our next question. If you can just wait one momento, as my lovely assistant is writing it down on a piece of paper.
Your smiling, lovely assistant, right?
Otherwise known as Cindy Steele. Give her kudos while she is embarrassed. But she's still writing, so hold on just a moment.
And Sarah mentioned the coolness factor. You know, as we're judging these different models, you know, how cool and imaginative you can be when you design these, and how functional too. So, looking forward to seeing them.
We don't want a model of something that already exists. We want something that you can think up that is totally different than anything we've thought of before.
Right.
Excellent. Okay, so we have a question from Twitter, and it's from Karpoor. And here's the question. What is the best way to approach NASA with ideas for public relations? Aha. Well,
I think you're the best person for that.
aha. Thank you so much. The best way to connect with NASA on any of your ideas is probably through the public, you know, you can write to NASA, you can write to Charlie Bolden, or you can write to David Weaver, who's the head of the Office of Communications, and give us your ideas through that way. There may be something on www.nasa.gov that can provide input. But I would suggest for public relations, why don't you connect with David Weaver at NASA headquarters, Office of Communications. And my lovely assistant in my ear is telling me another way for you all to give us some input, and that is through email. And what was that lovely assistant's, what was that email thingy again? public-inquiries@nasa.gov. So that's, wait, stand by. Public.inquiries rewind. Okay. Help me, people. Public-inquiries at, all right, one more time with gusto. Public-inquiries@hq.nasa.gov. See how well this works? Okay. Terrific. Well, let's see. There is another question here. Have we really talked about the prizes that are going to be happening for the people who are winners? I think we should, you know, because come on, it is a competition.
I like prizes.
Exactly.
A winner should be able to get something for their efforts. Freddie or Sarah, do you want to talk about that, or otherwise, well, we will.
Well, you know, aside from the obvious prize of winning these awesome competitions, we do have some physical prizes as well, and they're pretty cool. For the Inventing Our Future Flight competition, the prize is winner will get a Lego trophy, which is really, really cool. A collection of commemorable NASA memorabilia, and a virtual presentation of the project to NASA and Lego specialists. So that's, a pretty awesome prize, I think. And for our Imagine Our Future Beyond Earth, for that competition, Sarah, do you want to take that one?
Sure, I'll handle that. I just had to unmute my microphone.
Sorry.
For this competition, we are actually giving away a signed Lego Kusa Hayabusa set, which is a satellite that was launched into space in collaboration with NASA and a Japanese agency. And it's a Lego model of the satellite. We're not giving you the actual satellite. And we're also giving away the upcoming Mars rover Lego Kuso set. So this is a brand new, just announced set once it's available in early 2014 that was submitted by a fan, and it looks just like the rover on Mars right now. And it's a very, very cool item, very rare and exclusive. And along with that, we're also getting a collection of NASA memorabilia to go along with those Lego prizes.
And let me tell you, that memorabilia is awesome.
I think I'll even throw in my last mission. I'll throw in a couple of mission patches, flown mission patches too, for the winners. How's that?
Now, breaking news.
They only have 4.9 million miles on them, so it's not that far, but
yeah,
we're going to throw that in too.
Well, that's awesome. That is very generous of you, Leland. Awesome. Very cool. Breaking news here at the NASA Google Plus Hangout. For those of you who have joined us, we're a little bit beyond midway. Debbie Rivera, and I'm the lead for the NASA LEGO partnerships, and we're here to talk about the NASA LEGO competition. It's called NASA's Missions, Imagine and Build, and it's currently open and running through July 31st. We are here today to talk about the competition. You can also check it out on rebrick.lego.com. But let me introduce you to the folks here, the team. We have Leland Melvin, who's head of the Office of Education and former shuttle astronaut, CCC. And then we have April Ladott, who is the Education Einstein Fellow here, and she works in the Aeronautics Mission Directorate. And then we have some folks over in Legoland. Just kidding. It's Lego, the Lego group. Sarah Moore we have in Connecticut. And we also have Freddie Hoff, who is coming to us from Denmark. So welcome everybody who's just joining us. One of the things that, as I mentioned, there is a NASA LEGO partnership, and the competition is one of the things that we have done. But something else that we have done, and you can still engage with it, and that is we and LEGO put LEGO bricks up on the International Space Station. And up there, the astronauts were able to show folks physics concepts and how things work in space versus on the ground. And there's lots of cool video on it. And you can take a look at that at legospace.com. That's legospace.com. And but we have somebody here who could actually talk to us about what the space station is all about and why it's important. Leland?
Right. So I flew on the space station in 2008 and 2009 and had the most incredible time. We installed the Columbus Laboratory, the European Space Agency's big laboratory to do materials processing research, to do human research, physics on how the blood goes through your body, your hearing, your vision, all these different things. So if we go to Mars one day, we can use that platform as a test bed to figure out how people will live on Mars for up to a year and a half or so. And so up on Space Station right now, we have astronauts. I think I posted a video on Twitter this morning of Karen Nyberg washing her hair. How do you wash your hair now? I didn't have that problem in space because I had kind of a low cut here, but how do you do these things, these biological things in space? And this test bed is going to be the platform that helps us get to other planets one day. So Kevin Ford, who's one of my astronaut buddies, took a Mindstrom's robotics kit and created a gyro in space. And that gyro is similar to the control moment gyros. There are 4 of them that are spinning that allow the station to be in a particular attitude or orientation, so pitch, yaw, and roll, as it's going around the planet at 17,500 miles per hour every 90 minutes. And so this is one of the things that we can see how these Lego bricks work in space, but how they would then work under a gravitational field on the planet. And so we have education guides for teachers, for students to work with. You can compare the difference so that as you're building your vehicles, your future vehicles, you have to think about how would this vehicle work in a zero-G environment. And so those are some of the things that we use Space Station for to help us trick out how we would build vehicles, build hardware, and also have people working and living on this platform and for future platforms.
Awesome. And like I said, the video of Kevin doing that is on legospace.com, so you can see him working with that Lego gyro.
It's really cool. So
Very
check
cool.
that out.
So
Very
check
cool.
that out. Okay, great. I'm going to go back to some questions. We have one from Facebook. And this is probably a good one for our Lego team. And the question is, how many entries have you received so far?
So far, we've only received a handful of entries, but we're hopeful that there will be much more by the end of the month. So that also means if you're looking to enter, competition's kind of low right now.
So come one, come all. That's what she's saying,
Yeah.
okay? And remember, it does take a little bit of time to put these together, so we're really anticipating a lot to come in the next 15 days. So make sure your entry is one of them. Okay, so now we're going to...
I just want to...
Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to add that we have had to disqualify certain entries because they didn't follow the rules. So make sure to read the rules and so give yourself enough time for the entry so that you can fix if there is an issue where you didn't follow the official rules.
Freddie, I have a question for you. If someone doesn't follow the rules, will you notify them that there's a problem with their entry?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we will.
Great. So that's another reason to make sure you get it in on time and early so that they can catch those. It might be a small mistake, but something that we just can't, have with the contest. So make sure you turn it in early.
Okay, time to get back to some more questions. And the next one is Google Plus, from Google Plus, and that is from, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but Pansham. And here's the question. What do you want to see in this competition, and do we get free Lego parts? I wish. Okay. Anybody would like to take that question?
I'll take the first part. And so what we want to see in the competition is we want to see ideas that are based on something that could possibly work in the future. Now, like we said, it doesn't have to be a working model, but we do want to see that your entry fits in with what kinds of things we're working on. So, for example, if you check out what NASA's working on for aeronautics, and you can do that right off of the NASA site, or you can also go to aeronautics.nasa.gov. What you'll find is that what we're trying to do is we're trying to help airplanes fly safer. We're helping that we want them to fly faster. We want less fuel emissions. But we need them all to be able to work together and be able to fly in the same airspace. So we need them to function well with one another. So when we talk about that, we want to see that you have a great idea, but you have a great idea that you think would fit with what kinds of things are actually in existence and could realistically, be placed into our future aeronautics. And same with the space component as well. There's a little more flexibility in the space competition because when you're sending it out there, you're not necessarily coordinating with other spacecraft. Once you get out past Earth's orbit, you can pretty much go wherever you need to go. But when
but you may have a constellation of spacecraft going out to do a mission together.
Exactly, and that's a possibility too.
Yeah, and as we go and looking at retrieving an asteroid, how do we build a vehicle that uses solar electric propulsion? That's one of the things that we're looking at doing right now to give us a propulsion system that can get us out there, grab the asteroid, bring it back to cislunar orbit so that we can send astronauts on Orion up there to actually mine the asteroid and think about how we can protect our planet in case, like on my birthday, February 15th this past year, there was a meteorite that hit in Russia that could have caused much more damage than it did. So we want to be able to look out there and see if there's something coming towards us that we can actually mitigate or move out into a different orbit so that it doesn't impact the planet and take out our civilization. So those are some of the things that we're looking at doing at NASA to ensure that we have a future. And that's about building the future.
Exactly. Imagining and building the future.
Imagining and building the future.
That's right. This is what we're talking about at this competition, aren't we? But the second part of that question was about the free Lego bricks. And before we have our Lego folks answer that question, another question came in that has a little bit to do with that as well. So I'm gonna throw that question out to our Lego folks, and it's through the Google Plus. Where can I go build the model for the competition online? And that may be part of your answer, Freddie or Sarah.
Yeah, so regarding free Lego bricks, we aren't really giving those away unless you count the prizes for the competition, which do include Lego bricks. But if the concern is whether or not you don't have bricks to build a model with, we recommend entering the Inventing the Future of Flight competition, since that competition is open for a digital model to be created. And the software that you would use is completely free, provided by the Lego Group, called Lego Digital Designer. And to download that to build your prototype, you can actually go to rebrick.com and click the banner and go through to the Inventing the Future of Flight competition. You can also just try searching for it, and that should take you to the direct download page on lego.com.
Awesome.
Now, I'm a Mac user. Does it work on a Mac also, Mac and PCs?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. It does. So I want to build tonight.
Well, speaking of Microsoft and the Mac, believe it or not, we have a question from B. Gates. No lie, B. Gates from Google+. And here's what B. Gates wants to know. Does it have to be a plane or rocket, or can it be a lander or a satellite?
Oh, good question.
April, would you like to take that?
I sure will. So it can be pretty much anything you can think of. So the aircraft is obviously something that would fly in Earth's atmosphere. But no, it doesn't have to be. It can be a satellite, a lander, a rocket. You could even build a lunar outpost or anything that's going to take us out past Earth's orbit. So it doesn't have to be a transportation device unless it's the aircraft. That's the only one that has to be a vehicle. But in terms of the space one, it can be anything you can imagine that belongs out past Earth's orbit. So great question.
Thank you, B. Gates. We have several more, but I just want to make sure that the folks who have just joined us realize that we are talking about the NASA Lego competition called NASA's Missions Imagine a Build. I'm Debbie Rivera, head of the NASA Lego Partnerships. With me today is Leland Melvin, head of our education office here at NASA. And we have April Lynott, and she's one of our Education Einstein Fellows who works in the aeronautics area. We also have our Lego folks, and that is Sarah Moore. She's here with us in the United States in Connecticut, as well as Freddie Hoff from Denmark. Okay, we have only about maybe 12 minutes left, so I really want to get these questions in.
Get questions in. Come on, guys.
Well, come on.
I know you have some good questions.
All right, from Google+, Peter is asking, can you elaborate on inspired originality? What does that really mean?
Sure, I can do that one.
Go, April.
So one of the things that we want to do is we want to see what you can come up with on your own. However, like I just said, we want models that fit in with what we're doing right now. So for example, if you take a look at what aeronautics is working on, we're working on aircraft that fly perhaps faster than the speed of sound. We're looking at new shapes. We have lots of composite structures, and so we're able to come up with new designs. But we want to know that your model, that your design would fit into what's going on, what's really going on. So when we talk about inspired, what we really mean is more, in a way, almost informed creativity. So we want to know that you have an idea of what's going on in the first place and how your design can fit in with what's already going on. So we want you to be creative. We don't want you to build what we've already built, but we want it to fit in with everything else we're doing.
And where you can get that information about what NASA is doing, again, is on www.nasa.gov. Okay, we have another question. What if you build your model? How do you send it in as a physical model, or do you use pictures, or how do you do the entry application? Sarah, Freddie, maybe? Do they
I'll
post
take
it?
that one.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry,
What you do? Okay, great. Go ahead, Sarah.
What you do is you actually you put you submit it to Rebrick, which is a social bookmarking website, which means that you have to pretty much submit your photo onto an image hosting platform such as Flickr or PhotoBucket, and then bookmark it, is what we call it when you submit a link, directly onto Rebrick within the Building Challenge category. That way we know you're entering the competition and we can evaluate it properly.
It's all described in the rules, and I think one of the things is a key factor is that to make sure you get a good image. So when you take a photo of the creation that you build, make sure to have the lighting right and to take a picture that really shows off the best of what you build.
Terrific. And again, that the rules and all the how-tos are on www. Well, I don't even think you do the W's anymore. It's rebrick.lego.com. Okay, that's where you can get that information. Okay, moving on. Trenton, through Google Plus, would like to know how many entries can you submit? Is there a limit, Freddie?
Yes,
On how many?
there is.
Okay.
So you can only submit one entry per contest.
So that means one by the end of July 15 for the competition called NASA's Missions Imagine and Build. Okay, great. And Vidushi from Google Plus is asking, can we participate solo, or do you have to be in a team? And Leland, what do you think?
I think you can either go solo if you want to, or you can be part of a team. I think up to 5 people on the team. And if you get a team bigger than 5, then you have to break it off and create 2 teams. I think that's what April told me earlier. So, but just be very, very creative. And if you have maybe one person working on one part of the vehicle, one person working on another part, you can combine those efforts to make this super, super really cool design that we're going to give you some thumbs up for.
Awesome. So with that, Tammy from Google Plus says or asks, are there going to be new Lego products or kits that come out of this competition? Freddie?
Good question.
Well, that's interesting. This is not something that we are planning at this point, but I'll have to say that you never know what's going to happen. So, you know, if something is amazing, that's obviously worth considering.
And we would, of course, work closely with the person who submitted the design if we chose to pursue that path.
Exactly. Now, let me ask you all a question then from the studio. Debbie Rivera, question. Can the winner of this competition put their model on the Kuzo site?
Absolutely, there's no problem with that. And for those who don't know about Lego Kuso, it's a platform where it's a crowdsourcing platform where users can submit ideas for new Lego sets. And if an idea reaches 10,000 supporters, it will be considered for a potential Lego set. And that's actually how the 2 prizes for the Imagine Our Future Beyond Earth competition came from. The Hayabusa and the Mars rover were submitted by a fan and are now in the process of becoming sets.
Awesome.
And I think the goal of the fans and the students and everyone out there is to just blow Lego's socks off. And your inventive, creative, design may make them want to call you right away once they see it. So use your brains, be creative, have some really cool stuff that they won't want to turn you down. Okay.
And that is definitely something to remember for sure. Another question came in from, this time, YouTube, and it is, does it matter if you are not American to enter this competition? And Sarah, would you like to answer that one for us?
Sure, that does not matter at all. We talked to someone earlier who's interested in entering from Mexico, and that is most countries, unless it's prohibited there by law, it's completely fine to enter. And you can find a list of the few countries where there might be complications in the rules by going to rebrick.com and clicking that banner on the front page.
Cool, that's very good. Okay, and here is another question from Google+, and that is, where did the idea of using Lego to construct models for NASA come from? Great question, and that has come from really the team effort that we have done between NASA and Lego over the last few years. NASA and Lego came together maybe about 5 years ago, I think, with our very first agreement to form a partnership. And we've done a myriad of things from that time. We've talked about one of them, which is putting Lego bricks up on the space station where astronauts can use them to talk about physics and other things that just can't happen on Earth. And then this competition is just another way to, again, give an opportunity for both organizations to have a mutually exclusive, a mutually beneficial type of outcome for the projects that we do. So it's a team approach from both NASA and Lego. Okay, we have time for one more question. Do we have one more question? Cindy, my assistant off camera, who is blushing again. Okay. All right. Well, if we don't, that's okay. I just want to remind everybody that we have done this Google Plus Hangout so that we can talk about the upcoming, well, actually it's ongoing, the NASA Missions Imagine and Build competition. It is open, and it is going to end on July 31st. That means there's only 15 more days before you can get an entry in. If you guys go to rebrick.lego.com, you can get all the information, the competition rules, what we're looking for, what the prizes are going to be, so please do that. As April has said, what we're looking for is really informed designs. And in order to have informed designs, what do we have to do? We have to know what NASA does.
Exactly.
We've got to know. You got to know. So you can find out more about the NASA missions, whether it's space related, like Leland has had the opportunity to be in space, and or if it's doing the aeronautic aspect of the competition. But check us out on www.nasa.gov for that kind of information.
Debbie, can I add one quick thing as well?
Yes, of course, April.
So if you have more questions, the rebrick.lego.com site, you can actually ask questions. So after we're finished today, if you think of some questions that you forgot to ask, or you go to the site and you still have some questions, just post them there and then they can be answered. So don't worry, this isn't your last chance to ask any questions.
Right, and also if you want to learn more about NASA education, go to www.nasa.gov/education, where you can see other activities that you can do along with this competition, whether it's building rockets or this exploration design challenge. And it's for teachers, it's for students, it's for grandparents, it's for the whole K through gray. So check out nasa.gov/education, nasa.gov/education for other types of activities you can do.
Great. And Freddie or Sarah, would you like to give any closing comments?
Well, just remember that you have 15 days. So get building. It's two very, very cool competitions. Go to readbrick.com to see all the rules. And as April just said, you can ask questions there if there's anything you find that's not answered in the rules. So you can write, and either Sarah or I will get back to you explaining those exact rules. So start building.
Because we want to load up his desk. Hi. All right. Thanks very much for being with us. Bye-bye.
Thank you.